So let's go, you know the drill by now, so let's go through each of these forgotten American heroes one by one, and you tell me your thoughts and takeaways from the lives of each. So of course, up first we have Mary Ellen Pleasant.
hmm Mary Ellen, once again, what sticks out to me the most and what's new is that she said, I leave the education and the books to the elite and I study people. And what a message that is for today. You have the elites, even in her time, wanting to thumb their nose and look down. And the sad bookend to her story is because the elites. But she didn't achieve because of high education or because she knew every philosopher. She achieved out of pure work and spirit. And another thing about her is great. Who helped her build that wealth? One of those evil, disgusting white guys. Isn't that amazing, right? That someone said, oh no, there's an opportunity here. And that shows you something. Capitalism can be the end of racism throughout the world.
And of course, then we look at Robert Smalls, and what an exciting story and what an exciting life he lived. He was a man who was born into slavery, and then he ends by going to the seat of power, being elected 5 times into the U.S. House of Representatives. What an amazing and daring story.
I know, that's an incredible story and all that he achieved. But what stuck out to me was as he began to whistle by and pretend he was one of the white captains, he said, I'm not going to leave my family. I'm going to pick them up and bring them along. It's amazing today that an organization like Black Lives Matter says, forget about that nuclear family. What he did is he said, no, I'm not going to forget about them. They're important to me and the legacy. And he risked his life even further to make sure he could get them into freedom's wings.
And of course, last but not least, we have Bessie Coleman, an aviator pilot, a stunt woman. Tell us about her story.
Oh, this is my favorite. And the one thing that stuck out to me about her story, well, many did, but the one thing that came to the top was the fact that she was a churchgoer. She believed in God, and she knew that God could set her path. And no matter what anyone else said, she could achieve something because I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that is a message that the left today would have you deny, have you put away. Oh, God's false, it's a lie. But look at that. Black history is not there without God.
That is a very beautiful and poignant point, because it's interesting now, for example, Martin Luther King Jr., we talk about him a lot, but everyone divorces him in a sense from his preaching and his ministry. He was a man of God. Whenever we listen to his speeches, he was always invoking the name of God. He was using biblical references. And then you hear nowadays in 2021, we act like that was not a major part. I mean, he was named after Martin Luther in the first place, of the Protestant Reformation. So it's interesting now in 2021 that we try and divorce God and religion from the movement of Black Americans here. And when we look at the story of a lot of these Black Americans, one thing that stood out to me, and it's something I've seen a lot of thinkers on the conservative right, many Black thinkers on the conservative right who've pointed out, is these are people who face true structural barriers due to their race in a similar way, not as extreme, but similar to what we're seeing with conservatives now being barred entry into entertainment, into Hollywood, academia, because of their political beliefs. So what can we learn from their fortitude and their perseverance that we can take with us now?
I don't want to turn your show into the 700 Club, but I will say this. The message is real simple. Conservatives, Republicans, you're being barred, you're being denied. But guess what? The stone which the builders rejected has become the head of the corner. So stop looking for your validation from Hollywood, from the elite, from academia, and turn back towards the hills which cometh your help. And your help comes from the Lord.